Hello everyone and welcome to the CarAlarm podcast. My name is Alex.
And I'm Gaven.
And this is once again bi-weekly wrestling review. I guess you could say, every now and then.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
Schedules are getting messed up.
But we're going to review Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live from November 20...
Yesterday and the day before.
Yeah, we do a lot of pre-show work. Don't worry, we do our research. Let's kick off Monday Night Raw. Roman Reigns opens the show with the Intercontinental Championship newly won from last week. After he beat The Miz, who's going away for the Marine 5, I believe.
I'm going to die. I'm going to watch it and I'm going to die because it's not going to be good.
I was hoping if they were to do the Marine 5, they would have, since the Miz-Taraj is, the whole idea behind it is that The Miz helped build up Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas and their co-stars, that they would have actually put Axel and Dallas in the Marine 5 with The Miz, so that way it would work with the character and kayfabe and everything. But that didn't happen. We'll get to that in a couple seconds. Roman Reigns says why we won't see The Miz for a good while. Or says that we won't see The Miz for a while. And that he's going to keep the Intercontinental Championship prestigious, which The Miz has also done. We'll see if Roman Reigns can do it. Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel interrupt Roman Reigns and say they are in no position to avenge The Miz. Okay, so I understand how Curtis Axel's not in position to avenge The Miz because he has a neck brace on, as he has been for the past few weeks, you might remember. But I don't really know why Bo Dallas couldn't just face Roman Reigns for the Intercontinental Championship.
Not worthy?
Well, apparently to them, someone who is capable of avenging The Miz and who is worthy of doing it is Elias, because that's who they bring out. Elias. Elias says he feels he could guide The Miz-Taraj, Bo Dallas, and Curtis Axel, and says he's going to take the Intercontinental Championship from Roman Reigns tonight. Roman Reigns accepts the challenge, and that will go on to be, I think, the semi-main event of Monday Night Raw. We'll get to it later. But yeah, so Elias versus Roman Reigns. Are you hyped?
No.
You shouldn't be. I'll tell you why later. Okay, so the first official match of the show is Seth Rollins versus Cesaro, because last week Sheamus had a match with Dean Ambrose, and this week Sheamus is off in Ireland taking his leave of absence or whatever they said. I don't know if I use the right term there. And Dean Ambrose is on his honeymoon with Renee Young. So it just leaves Seth Rollins and Cesaro
to duke it out.
Yeah, and they have a really good match. Of course, it's Seth Rollins and Cesaro. So they have a really good singles match. Seth Rollins ends up winning with his knee, which still is unnamed. Whether it's King's Landing or the Kingslayer knee or whatever you want to call it, I guess.
Dragon Fighter knee.
There you go, Dragon Fighter knee. Where'd the dragon come from?
I have no idea. Dragon's Lair. I don't know what it is, but it's an old cartoon. It's an old
video game. Yeah, I know.
I've never played it before, so I don't understand.
Okay, well, after the match, Seth Rollins challenges The Bar for the Tag Team Championships next week, confirming that the Shield is in no way disbanded because Seth Rollins was wearing his normal old gear. He wasn't wearing his Shield gear, and Roman Reigns wasn't seen with either of them the whole night. And Ambrose was gone, so they were kind of split up that week on Monday Night Raw. So Rollins was confirming that they weren't officially parting ways. The next match is Samoa Joe versus Titus ONeil, and as you can guess, while not completely being a squash match, it was a squash match kind of. Titus ONeil actually got in a good bit of offense with some fists, some rather weak looking, not Shane McMahon weak, but not the best looking fists. And
Titus ONeil is just a manager. That's it.
And Joe ended up tapping out Titus. So the next match is Sasha, Mickie James, and Bayley versus Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. I think they're called Absolution. I think that's what, if I remember correctly. It's some A name. I think it's called Absolution.
They're the A team.
They're the A team. Oh my god, don't even. I don't want to hear that.
That's it. We're calling them the A-Team.
I hope that's not a thing.
It is a thing. It's a movie.
I mean, I hope that you won't be calling. I know I'm very familiar with the A-Team. Okay, so Paige comes out while Sasha is in the ring alone and reveals that backstage, Mickie James and Bayley were completely destroyed by Absolution. If I'm getting the name wrong, it's going to be wrong the entire podcast, so I don't care enough to... I did check before the show last night and everything, but I think it was more this morning. But, my memory's not 100%. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I don't have the best memory. That's my excuse. So, if I got the name wrong, it's probably really just because I don't care about this team. Because the same thing is happening with SmackDown, which we'll get to. Anyway, they jump Sasha Banks in the ring. The match never happens, and the whole segment ends with Sasha Banks getting beat up by Absolution.
The A-Team.
The A-Team. How about we'll just call them that, so we don't have a chance of getting wrong. I know for a fact it starts with an A. So you know what? I'm on board. You got me. You convinced me. They're the A-Team.
We have the A-Team on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
SmackDown will have the B-Team.
Mr. T should actually come and join them. He could be the manager. He's been in WWE before.
It'd work.
Mm-hmm. Next is a Bray Wyatt promo. The first since his sickness, I think, right? I know he came back before for I don't remember what, but I think this is his first promo, yeah?
Yeah. I think he came back to have a match to see... No, that was not...
He came back... I know he was here last week or whatever, but I don't remember. I think it was just a match, right? Against someone.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. Anyway, he just calls everyone pathetic and says no one ever listens to him and that everyone's suffering brings him joy, and then he says that everyone's dead.
Yeah, he just keeps repeating that over and over and over and over and over and over.
Yeah, before Matt Hardy enters, and they have a match. Bray Wyatt ends up winning clean with his sister Abigail after a fine match. Matt Hardy's really stiff in the ring, not in he hits hard, he's just, his body is really stiff,
Yeah.
He doesn't have fluid movements. So in the ring, I don't think that highly of Matt Hardy, but after the match, Hardy is left to basically just break down in the middle of the ring. He crawls against the bottom turnbuckle and just does the delete thing over and over and over while yelling it. Before he did it in WWE, he just kind of did it.
Yeah.
Once or twice so the crowd knew that, that's still in there somewhere. But now he's really doing it. And then Michael Cole on commentary said, are we possibly seeing the breaking of Matt Hardy? So, if that's not absolute confirmation that Matt Hardy is finally broken or some form of broken, I don't know what it is. I think the best part about Matt Hardy is the character, so
which he does incredibly well.
Yeah.
And I want to see...
As long as they leave him to do it. Give him 90% control. I feel like
give him all the control.
I feel like you can't do that, though, and I don't think they would.
You can do that. They did that in TNA.
Yeah, but I don't think they would, though. That's the thing. It's WWE. This isn't TNA. They have Vince McMahon and the head of things. So. But yeah, I'm excited to see next week. If not anything else on Monday Night Raw, it's for Matt Hardy, so. Next up, we have Arya Daivari, Rich Swann, Noam Dar, and Akira Tozawa in a fatal four-way.
Excuses for this.
The winner of this will face the winner of next week's fatal four-way in a singles match to determine the number one contender for Enzo Amore's Cruiserweight Championship.
So we got a little tournament going.
Yeah, a little mini tournament. I honestly would have been more interested if they just did an actual long tournament,
that'd have been amazing.
Split it up in a singles match. I don't know why they wouldn't. They have 8 competitors. That's the perfect amount for a tournament. So, I don't know why they wouldn't have done that. I think after 3 weeks, and it probably, how long would it have lasted? You have 2 matches a week. You can have the finals because we have 2 months before the Royal Rumble. Raw does not have a pay-per-view before then, I do believe. Is that accurate? I'm not sure. That might be inaccurate.
They may have one or two.
I think they have Night of Champions, right? Or Clash of Champions, because for some reason they're using that one instead.
I think SmackDown has Clash of Champions, and Raw will have Night of Champions.
Is that? I don't know if that's accurate.
I don't know. I think it sounds right to me. WWE's doing bullshit like that.
Yeah, but okay. Well, regardless, they have enough time to do an actual tournament if they would. They could have, if you can't fit in the finals of the tournament before the title match on Raw, they could always do it on 205 Live, and maybe that would bring more to 205 Live because they've been seeing the whole tournament develop on Raw. I don't know. It seems better than a Fatal 4-Way. But with that said, it was still a pretty good match. Rich Swann ended up winning with a Phoenix Splash to Noam Dar, and he will face, I don't know who's in next week's Fatal 4-Way, but one of those 4 guys.
Kalisto going to be in it?
I assume Kalisto and maybe Grand Metalik, Jack Gallagher maybe, Cedric Alexander, Brian Kendrick.
That's what it is. It's going to be Jack Gallagher versus Enzo Amore.
Sure.
Jack Gallagher's just going to use that super headbutt of his and win the Cruiserweight Championship. Then we have Jack Gallagher and Enzo Amore feuding for the Cruiserweight Championship.
Honestly, at this point, that sounds fine. I would rather give it... I'm sure, honestly, I think Mustafa Ali or Cedric Alexander should have that championship at this point. If not them, Kalisto or...
Neville.
Well... anyway, let's move on to Cruiserweight division.
We all know how well that's going to work out.
Oh, yeah.
So what's up next?
We have, finally, Elias versus Roman Reigns. However, before the match, Elias is in the ring with Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas while Elias sings and Axel and Dallas lip-sync the harmonica. Clearly, they're not playing the harmonica, but they're holding up to the mic, and you can tell that the audio is playing off the speakers in the arena, and they're just lip-syncing to it. I honestly enjoyed this a lot. But then they stopped, and Elias sung by himself, and it's the same as always. And then we have the Intercontinental Championship match. Elias versus Roman Reigns. Did you see this match?
No.
It was boring.
I assume it would
nothing but headlocks.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much. Until the finish of the match, I thought was pretty good. It was like a couple reverses, I think. Samson got hit with a Superman punch and then a spear. And then he lost. Of course, why would he ever win the Intercontinental Championship? Especially from Roman Reigns, who I'm sure by the time WrestleMania comes around will be at least fighting for the world title once again, as every year.
Against Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Roman Reigns is going to win every Royal Rumble from now until he retires.
He'll probably main event each WrestleMania for the next few years, honestly. He's main evented 3 already, I think?
Yep.
31, 32? Yeah, we're on 34, so. However, after the match, Samoa Joe enters at the top of the ramp and chokes out Roman Reigns till the referees pull him off. Roman Reigns didn't get out of it and spear him. He actually got choked out.
Good.
So it looks like we're getting an IC title feud between Joe and Roman Reigns, which
this is going to be great.
Yeah, I'm game for it. I highly doubt. You know what? If they're doing Roman Reigns versus Lesnar at Mania, let Joe take the title off of Reigns. Let him take the IC title. If you're not going to have him have a match at Mania against Lesnar, or you're not going to give him the Universal Championship, just let him get the Intercontinental Championship. That's fine. Let him take it off of Roman so Roman can go to
WrestleMania.
Yeah, with old Rocket Boy.
Or have Braun Strowman go to WrestleMania and just destroy Brock Lesnar. Like he should have in their match.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't think he should have destroyed him. Then we have the same with the Goldberg situation where the build-up's been for nothing.
The build-up with Braun Strowman was he just killed Brock Lesnar every week.
Yeah.
And then Brock Lesnar squashed him.
He did not squash Braun Strowman. That was a pretty even match. Relative to... I mean, I know it wasn't Styles Lesnar, but I mean... Relative to Lesnar matches, he did not squash Braun Strowman. He didn't squash Samoa Joe or AJ Styles. I thought all 3 of them were fair matches based off all their characters, you know?
Just didn't make sense that Braun Strowman killed Brock Lesnar every week, and then Brock just comes back and kills Braun.
Well, I mean, it wasn't like John Cena, where Cena 1 month after getting absolutely destroyed by Lesnar, he just beat him somehow, almost beat Brock Lesnar. If you remember that from a while back, SummerSlam and then Night of Champions. 1 month later, Cena's all of a sudden trained so much that
he's Goku.
Yeah, he went into space and did some gravity training.
That's it. That's my theory for John Cena. He's just Goku in disguise.
He must have stopped doing that at Survivor Series then, because he sure was nothing in that match.
That heart disease.
Yeah, I guess so. Alright. Next up we have Asuka versus Dana Brooke. Did you see any of this?
No.
Okay, so I thought this was actually really nice for Asuka and Dana Brooke, honestly. Dana Brooke, she's still working her way up there. She's still young and everything, so I don't think this really hurts her at all. So, Dana Brooke, I think, was backstage saying how, unlike everyone else, Asuka can't just... Or, I think she was... Yeah, she said something along the lines of Asuka starts out her matches slow, and they build up pace, and that, basically what ended up happening is Dana Brooke was trash-talking Asuka. As soon as the match started, Dana ran towards Asuka, and Asuka got in an arm bar, and then Dana Brooke just tapped out.
Really?
Literally as soon as it started, yeah. So nothing much there, but it was entertaining to see Dana Brooke trash talk. I wish I remember what exactly she said, but I don't remember everything. Something along the lines of that she started off her matches slow, and that Dana was going to take advantage. But it was really entertaining overall. Afterwards, Paige, Deville, and Rose enter, with Mandy Rose and, I forget the other lady's name. What's her name?
Deville?
Yeah, her first name.
I have no idea.
Let me scroll back up to my notes where I actually wrote her entire name. Sonya Deville. I think that's her name. They enter and surround the ring, but they don't end up attacking Asuka, and they allow her to leave. I don't know why that happened. I don't know what it means, but I sure hope Asuka's not joining that group. I was honestly kind of looking forward to they just charge the ring and Asuka knocks all of them out one by one. I just want Asuka to kill everything.
Well, she does anyways.
She should be the Brock Lesnar-Goldberg fusion. The 90s Goldberg and the 2003 Brock Lesnar fusion for the women's division. That's what she should be. And that's what she kind of is. I say Goldberg for the undefeated streak. But next up we have Jason Jordan versus Kane.
Kane.
Yes. Jason Jordan versus Kane.
Why is Kane back?
Well, remember his whole thing with Strowman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's forgettable.
Is that still a thing that's happening?
Oh, it is. It is. Jason Jordan gets on the mic before his match, and he says that he knows when his body can no longer compete. If you remember last week, he had his whole knee problem with Strowman. That was his excuse for not being able to do that.
Yeah.
And this week he feels like he is at 100% with his knee, and that he can do what Braun Strowman couldn't do, and that's put away Kane. Specifically, he said to shut down the Big Red Machine. And in the beginning, he does kind of get a little bit of offense in.
But then Kane kills him.
He ends up getting thrown to the outside, and Jordan just sells the crap out of his knee like he's dying. And then he ends up losing by countout. Just by countout, because he rolls in the ring right when the ref says 10. And then Kane beats up Jason Jordan for a little bit before Finn Balor comes out to make the save. And for some reason, Finn Balor is now wrestling Kane in an official match. I'm not sure why. They just went to commercial break when Balor was coming out. And he came back, and they were in a match. So, whatever. Who cares? I don't. Finn Balor, who knows what to do with him? Just let him go back to New Japan at this point. Maybe it's a little early to say that, but please do something with him.
Throw him in the cruiserweights and have him kill everyone.
I don't even want to see that. Just go join the Bullet Club with Neville and Austin Aries. Rejoin.
Become the leader.
Yeah.
Kill Kenny Omega like Chris Jericho's going to.
You know what? I want to see that match. How about that? Kenny Omega versus Finn Balor. Kenny Kane ends up losing by DQ after he begins to attack Finn Balor with a steel chair. And Braun Strowman makes the save. Strowman power slams Kane onto some steel steps before ramming Kane's throat into the chair just like he did with Strowman last week. And Kane exits the crowd holding his throat.
We're getting another tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs pay-per-view.
And just after TLC a couple months ago?
Yep.
When was TLC? When did that happen?
A while back.
Did that happen? That did happen, right?
Yeah, that I remember.
What was the card for that show? I don't remember it.
I don't know.
I don't either.
So forgettable.
Alright, well, anyway.
Just like Kane.
Yep, just like Kane. So yeah, the end of the night closes with Kane running through the crowd while people literally laugh at him. Because this is dumb, and it's not interesting at all. It's just boring. Who would want to see, in their right minds, who would want to see, or think, even somehow think that people want to see Kane versus Braun Strowman in an actual match? Any kind of match. Steel cage.
I would if Kane was actually relevant nowadays.
I mean, like, just in-ring ability-wise. These two, I don't believe, could have a good match. I can't, like, can you think of a way? I feel like it's Big Show and Kane, except I know Strowman's better than Big Show at this point. I mean, just...
I don't know.
How do you do that? How do you think you can?
I don't know. Maybe we'll be surprised.
I hope not. I hope I'm right and it's just over after their match. Which probably won't be a pay-per-view match, but...
Maybe we'll be surprised and, it is over. I'm just hoping that, it's an actual good match and then that's just it.
I hope it just ends in, like, the Royal Rumble. No, that's too long. That's going to be too long of a feud. I was going to say just have Strowman beat Kane's elimination record. Or, no, Roman, right? Roman has the biggest record now because he beat Kane's because, give Roman everything.
Braun Strowman kills everybody in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, yeah, speaking of which, Roman is now a Grand Slam champion for WWE, which means he's had the U.S. title, World title, the Intercontinental title, and the tag titles.
He's a Grand Slam champion?
Yeah. Miz is also a Grand Slam champion. I think and Kurt Angle, and Edge, and Eddie Guerrero. So, the Miz is in their ranks. Pretty interesting.
Now all they have to do is win the Universal.
Well, yeah, so that's what I don't understand, because at the time the Miz was doing his thing and everyone else won their Grand Slam, those were the titles. They weren't like...
Yeah.
There weren't more. There weren't 2 tag titles or a cruiserweight title, which I guess you wouldn't count if they're over cruiserweight. And there wasn't 2 world titles, with the exception of the World Heavyweight Championship, which I guess didn't count. But yeah, I don't see why the Universal Championship wouldn't count. It's not like they stole that one from WCW.
Yeah, I know.
So I guess I just wanted an excuse to call Reigns Grand Slam champion. He's been the Unified Tag Team Champions before the brand split. He's been the United States Champion, the Intercontinental Champion now, and he's been the WWE World Champion like 3 times, right? 2?
2 or 3, something like that.
3, I think, because he won it once, then Sheamus beat him, and then he won it from Triple H, yeah?
Yeah.
So 3 times. And he's...
You just named off 2, though.
Well, because he won it, lost it to Sheamus, won it back, then he lost it to Triple H at the Rumble.
Oh yeah, I remember
then
that now.
Triple H beat him, he beat Triple H at Mania. Alright, let's just get into SmackDown. Shane McMahon opens the show to call out Daniel Bryan for not firing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn after they had a lumberjack match last week as punishment for their Survivor Series interference, I guess you could say. Daniel Bryan says Shane has a bit of a hasty reaction sometimes when it comes to temper problems, a.k.a.
anger management.
When Shane McMahon brings up when Kevin Owens attacked Vince, and when they had their whole feud, Kevin, Shane, and then the Survivor Series thing, he defends that he is well what's the word I'm looking for? He has a good reason for his...
He's just justified in his actions?
Yeah, I guess that'd be the best way to put it. Shane says he respects Daniel Bryan. Or, excuse me, before that, Daniel Bryan says he's not here to be a yes man. He's here to see wrestlers with talent and make sure that they succeed and that they keep them and they can have successful SmackDown Live, basically. And then Shane McMahon says that he respects Daniel Bryan, but he's going to make some changes to the Orton versus Owens match. He's going to make it a no DQ match, and that Sami Zayn will be barred from ringside. That'll be the main event.
Shark Cage.
Did you see NXT TakeOver Wargames?
I did not.
Much better than Survivor Series. Well, than the main event of Survivor Series.
What was the main event of Survivor Series again?
The 5-10 on 5-on-5 match. That match was terrible, I thought.
It wasn't terrible.
I
wasn't overly thrilled about it.
I thought it was terrible as soon as the first person got eliminated. Then it all just went downhill. I thought it was awful. But that was a week ago. We ain't there no more. So let's move on to the next match.
Brock
the New Day
absolutely killed AJ.
That was a great match.
Yes, it was.
I loved it so much.
I thought it was going to be a squash match, but it turned into an AJ being actually amazing as usual.
I've never seen Brock Lesnar sell that hard for anybody.
Yeah, I know.
He sold that calf crusher, and after the match, when he was going to F5 AJ, like, he actually broke his leg. It was wonderful. I think Brock Lesnar might have a little bit of a crush on AJ Styles. Alright, so the next match is the New Day versus Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin.
With the Shield at ringside.
No, that's a lie. I don't know why.
Shh. It's a thing now.
Xavier Woods ended up hitting Shelton Benjamin after him and Kofi hit the up, up, down, down. Which is just sprawled across the knee of Kofi, and then Woods hits a knee, I think, from the top rope. The Bludgeon Brothers squashed the Hype Bros in the next match, and after the match, during an in-ring interview with Zack Ryder, Ryder is saying that they have had a very unlucky streak with victories in matches. They haven't been doing too hot. When Mojo Rawley attacks him from behind and just starts beating down Zack Ryder until the referees stop him. So who cares about that feud? I don't.
I like Zack Ryder, but sorry, dude, you're done. I don't care about your ass.
I don't care about Mojo. I never did. And I don't care about Zack Ryder. Haven't for years. So that's that. Next up, we have AJ Styles versus the Singh brothers in a 2-on-1 handicap match.
Which AJ Styles loses because we all know he's trash.
Of course. Obviously. During AJ's entrance, he is attacked by Jinder Mahal and both the Singh Bros, who throw him into the ring post, and then they go to a commercial for the match to begin during the commercial for some reason. I don't know why they didn't wait till the match begun for the commercial, but it's probably because it was very quick. Singh Bros hit AJ a bunch. They got in a lot of offense because of the before-match attack. But AJ Styles ended up getting one Singh brother onto the second rope, and Styles clashing him onto the other Singh brother who was laying down.
Oh dear.
And then he got the win off that, of course. And avoided Mahal's aftermatch attack. Mahal, frustrated, hit the Kalash on both of the Singh brothers. Presumably ending their whole stable. I guess if you want to call it a stable. So what's next for Mahal, do you think?
Well, since the Mahal Taraj was done...
the Mahal Taraj.
I think the Singh brothers are going back to selling popcorn, and Jinder Mahal's going to die.
Selling popcorn?
Yeah.
You know they're wrestlers, right?
No, they're going back to selling popcorn.
Okay. Well, I couldn't begin to guess what's going to happen with Jinder now. Maybe U.S. title stuff. Maybe nothing.
Hopefully nothing.
I don't know. Next up, we have Charlotte, Naomi, and Natalya versus Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan, the Riott Squad. So the same thing as Raw. It feels like the same thing, even though they're different women. They were all introduced pretty much the same time and with the same characters. So, whatever you think of that. As soon as the match starts, Natalya...
The Riott Squad?
They're the Riott Squad after Ruby Riott, because she's the leader.
Okay.
Natalya starts off the match with, I think, Sarah Logan, and then she tags out to Charlotte, and immediately just walks out. So it's Naomi and Charlotte versus the Riott Squad. Charlotte enters the match, and Naomi is beaten down at ringside by Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan. She is... What is it called when you grab the person's feet and you, slingshot? Is it a slingshot? Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Well, they did that to Naomi. They leaned the stairs over the barricade. It was actually pretty creative. I liked it. They leaned the stairs over the barricade, and then they did that while she was under the stairs to slam her head into the stairs.
Yeah, it's a slingshot.
Yeah, I thought it looked cool. So they did that, and Naomi was done. And then they beat up Charlotte. Not illegally, they dragged her into the corner. They just started, tagging in, tagging out and stuff. And Ruby Riott ended up getting the pin with an enziguri, because sure. And Naomi was taken out on a stretcher to end the whole women's night for SmackDown Live. Any thoughts on the Riott Squad or Absolution, I think they're called, or the A-Team, excuse me. Riott Squad versus the A-Team.
The Riott Squad?
Yeah.
That sounds like a middle school stable of punk goth kids that want to be punk goth kids.
It is.
It just sounds awful.
I don't know.
Sounds like a stable of preppy white girls that drink Starbucks but want to be goth girls, so they dress in black and crap. And the actual goth girls actually hate them. More than they hate everybody else.
I want to like the women's division and be on board with everything, but I'm just not. It's boring. The only thing I'm interested in is Asuka. That's it. I loved everything with her on Raw except for the whole stable part. Alright, let's move on to SmackDown. I can already tell you I thought Monday Night Raw was better than SmackDown. Not by that much, though. So we have the Fashion Files, Sawed, which, if you can't tell, is a spoof of Saw. All the whole Saw franchise.
Saw is awesome.
Like the 304 movies that they have.
312.
Oh, okay. My bad. Excuse me. So Breezango and the Ascension are chained to a wall in a small room, individually chained. When they see a small screen where a person says they have 1 minute until poisonous gas fills the room unless they destroy what they love. So they see in the little bag is the horse, if you remember. I think his name was Charlie Horse. Was that his name? I don't remember the name of the horse. What was it?
I don't remember.
Well, they had the horse in there, still torn apart, and Connor said that the key is likely inside the horse, that they had to tear the horse apart. Breezango didn't want to do it, so they got Connor to do it. He tore the horse head up, got the key, gave it to Fandango, and they were telling Breezango to get out of there, just leave them be, save themselves, don't worry about it. And Fandango just said that's what we were going to do anyway, and then they left, leaving the Ascension in the room to get filled with poison gas. Presumably they died, so who knows what's happening with them.
They're gone. They're going to New Japan, join the Bullet Squad.
Yeah, they just... Bullet Squad.
Yep.
So yeah, that's it. That was the end of that. It was really short compared to most Fashion Files. I know they're usually short, but it was like maybe 1 minute, I want to say. But yeah, it was good still. Better than the rest of SmackDown. Next up, we have the main event of SmackDown Live. Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton in a no disqualification match, and Sami Zayn is barred from ringside. Now, if this was literally any night, one would guess that even though Sami Zayn was barred from ringside, he'd still show up. However, that's exactly what happened. So, Randy Orton ended up getting on the ramp, and Sami Zayn came down with a steel chair and attacked him, costing him the victory after Kevin Owens hit a frog splash.
Why this frog splash, though?
I don't know. I'm fine with it. I don't think it always has to end on a finisher, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't always, or not
But
necessarily.
he's been using the frog splash a lot.
Yeah, he has been using that a lot, and it doesn't really do much. But I'm fine with
It'd be more suitable if Big Show did it. There we go. There's
Kevin Owens is a pretty big guy. I'm sure he weighs.
But Big Show's like 500 pounds.
Big Show would die if he did a frog splash. He'd kill himself.
You never know.
And the person under him. But, so if Shane McMahon doesn't fire Sami Zayn after this, then I guess they really can just do whatever they want. Owens and Zayn. So.
Yeah, he'll just fight him at the next pay-per-view.
Oh, you think Sammy versus Shane?
Yep.
Like, you legit think that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If he doesn't fire him, he'll fight him.
So
what he usually ends up doing.
He
fought the Undertaker.
Yeah, I know. And Kevin. There's been some rumor, and Kurt, that I think Daniel Bryan said he thinks he can get cleared by WWE to wrestle. So do you think that all this beef with Shane and Bryan will lead to a Daniel Bryan versus Shane McMahon match sometime down the line? If it's not Mania, maybe SummerSlam or something.
Yes.
Maybe SummerSlam's probably a little far away, if they're building this now. I'd like to see that, and if Bryan doesn't go over, I think I'm going to cry myself to sleep for the rest of my life. So, that's that. Anything else you want to talk about?
Where's John Cena?
Good question. I don't know the answer
Where
to
the
that.
fuck is John Cena in all of this?
I have absolutely no idea.
Think about it. He comes back
for one
at
night.
SummerSlam. Not SummerSlam. Survivor Series. And then just goes.
Yeah, it's not like they were in a different town for SmackDown.
I'm just...
I don't know.
I'm very confused on what's happening with John Cena.
I don't understand why they chose Cena instead of, like, Rusev or something. Especially with what Cena did at Survivor Series. Rusev would have been fine in that spot.
Yeah.
Judging by how they book him. I still wouldn't want Rusev to be in that spot, but if someone had to be, I don't understand why... You know what? I guess I get it. Because they just wanted all those big names in a match. Which made it just completely pointless. The match, I didn't like it at all.
I liked it, especially the ending.
I didn't like the ending.
I did. Especially Braun Strowman choking fucking Triple H. She's like, I will kill you! She was like, don't eat me.
I don't know. Wargames is great.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, so, have you watched a Wargames match before?
No.
Would you like me to tell you the rules?
I know it's like the two rings are put together and there's
Yeah.
like 6 teams that fight.
There's 3 teams, 3 wrestlers each. And there's a big cage that goes over both rings, and there's 3 shark cages on the stage. The match starts off a triple threat, singles triple threat. And the other 2 teammates are in their each shark cages. And after 5 minutes, one team's released, and then every 3 minutes afterwards, the next team's released. You can only win by pinfall submission after all the teams have entered the match. And it's, of course, no DQ, and you can get weapons and stuff.
Nice.
So, and there are a lot of weapons involved, because, I won't spoil the match for you, but Killian Dane does just throw the most amount of things in that ring he can. And it's wonderful. It's Sanity versus the Undisputed Era, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly versus the Authors of Pain and Roderick Strong. Sanity being Eric Young, Killian Dane, and Alexander Wolf. So a wonderful match. It was really good. And also, Tyler Black and the Velveteen Dream had a really good match. As did Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, and Kairi Sane. And Nikki Cross. It was a Fatal 4 for the Women's Championship, the vacant one, since Asuka left. So, and Drew McIntyre versus Andrade Almas had a really good NXT Championship match too. So there you go. There's a 1 week too late plug for NXT. Watch Wargames.
I'm gonna have to go watch Wargames, and all of you do too.
It's really good. I guess overall better than a more well-rounded show than Survivor Series. Survivor Series had a lot of good matches. Especially, I think, the Shield, New Day, and then Styles, Lesnar.
Styles Lesnar was just amazing.
Every match on Wargames was great. So
especially when I was especially like loved it when Lesnar grabs Styles and just starts slamming his freaking head
during the
calf
calf crusher. Yeah, that was
terrifying and amazing, and I just loved it.
I just loved how much Lesnar sold. He sold the calf crusher like he was dying.
Yeah.
Like that was the end of his life, and he needed to live. And then when he caught AJ Styles for the F5, he still sold his leg like he had just been put through that ringer, I guess you could say, of getting murdered. And then after the match, he limped all the way to the back. When have you ever seen Lesnar do that for anybody? That was wonderful.
Undertaker?
Did he?
Maybe.
As soon as he beat...
I'm just spitballing here.
As soon as he beat the streak, he just kind of sat up, laughed, and was like, I won. I mean, of course he sold. He's not... He's good at what he does, but he didn't AJ Styles sell.
Yeah.
I think that vehicle was picked up on the feed.
Probably.
I don't live far from the street. And here down in the South, people love to have loud vehicles. It's just a cool thing to do. So,
I'm under the assumption it arouses them.
I have to assume, sir.
And the louder the vehicle, the more arousal you get. I don't understand, honestly.
I think it's
I don't
just
want
obnoxious.
a vehicle that sounds like a vacuum cleaner, but I mean... I don't want one that breaks a freaking microphone in someone's house in China.
Yeah.
Even though their walls are probably made of rice paper and cardboard.
Alright, well, I don't know about that.
China's full of like 1 billion people. You gotta make cheap housing somehow.
Yeah. Alright, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No.
Okay. You ready to close the show?
Yeah.
Alright, you can follow us on Twitter at CarAlarm Podcast.
You can find our page on Facebook if you type in the searching bar at Sounding Car Alarm. Well, at symbol, not actually at. You'll find our page. Give us a like, a follow, a subscription, whatever Facebook does for you.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are Car Alarm.
Deuces.
Thanks for watching.